my friend?
Doing great.
I'm glad to hear it. How's life being back in the UK?
It's exciting. I'm back. Just came back from San Francisco to London actually for my graduation. So yeah, good times.
Love it. Right, let's get into it. What was it like out there? Give us the vibes. Does AI feel at home there? Did you feel at home there building from out there for a while?
Everyone is AGI pilled. Best place in the world to become AGI pilled yourself. And so yeah, I think it's the best city in the world, the best ecosystem in the world. If you want to build venture scale businesses, you got to be there. And for us, it's been an incredible time to be out there.
Andrea, give us some context into you and Thrad.
Yeah, sure. So I started Thrad. We're an ad network for LLMs. We basically put ads in chatbots. We help AI apps to monetize with native ads, and then we help brands advertise in those LLMs.
Clear. How does that even begin to work?
Yeah, sure. So it's basically just like Google Ads, but instead of doing that inside of websites, we just do it inside of AI apps, LLMs, and chatbots. And so technically, we do the end-to-end ad tech infrastructure from the ad exchange to the SSP supply side platform to the DSP, the demand side platform. And so concretely, we serve the two sides of the marketplace, right? We have AI apps. They want to subsidize the user experience, right? Silicon Valley wants to save the world with their AI, and so we just tell them, hey, give it away for free, right? And enabling them to subsidize the usage with native, user-friendly, privacy-friendly ads. And so to them, they basically plug in our API, and then we just inject ads in the form of a sponsored message in their chat. And so as you're chatting to AI, once in a while, you're just going to get a sponsor response, right? And so that's how they do that, where we read the conversation and then we're just going to inject the sponsor message with our API. And then on the advertiser side, well, they just buy ads from our website. And so we're the only self-serve platform in the world today to enable brands to buy ads in LLMs. And so you can launch a campaign in seconds with no minimum ad spend from our landing page. You literally go on Thrad.ai, you say launch a campaign for Virage.com for $100, press launch, and that's it. Right. And so if you compare it to, in Silicon Valley, even here, everyone is talking about vibe coding, lovable project, and so on, right?
Your vibe
And we're kind
marketing
of
out here.
doing exactly, we're kind of doing that on the vibe marketing side where anyone, can code now with vibe coding. Now anyone can be a marketer, right? You don't need to know about Google Ads or Meta Ads or none of that stuff. You just go on the landing page, say launch a campaign for my company, for my URL, for X budget, press launch, and that's it. You're just gonna make money. Of course, if you're a more sophisticated marketer, you want to vibe $1 million campaign, right? And so we have our own media buying platform, which gives you more granular targeting.
It's a really interesting time for advertising. I mean, we were chatting this morning before we came on the show about all of this. I'd love to understand, how do you make this seamless, right? Because I really don't want a ad when I'm talking to chat, especially when I'm researching things. So, or is it that actually I do, and I'm just the wrong type of ICP for someone that wants to use, well, wants to be at the end of threads? How have you thought about that?
Yeah, for sure. I think um, overall we've been spoiled, right, by um, our experiences being subsidized by VC dollars, and that cannot continue forever,
It's
right?
true.
And at the same time, like for the people that know me, I'm obsessed, disease level about marketing. I'm the biggest ad maximalist. I think advertising is saving the world. It's enabled the internet to be free for everyone to use at no cost. And so that's what we're doing at Thread. We're subsidizing not the internet era, but we're subsidizing the AI era. Right now, we're doing that in chat, but extending beyond chat as AI evolves, and so that's what we're doing. We're making AI um, free basically for everyone. And so for sure some people can afford and they do not like a subsidized experience with paid promotions, and that's fine, but not everyone can do that. And at the same time, that's actually our job, right, to make this experience as user friendly as possible. And how does that come through? Concretely, it's just to make it as native as possible, right? Where the ad the best kind of ads are ads that don't feel like ads, right? Why do people hate ads? Well, because they're bad ads, right? But the best ads, people love them, right? Everyone is familiar with, inspirational Nike campaigns and other brands that inspire the world. And so that's actually what we're trying to do with our ad experience is show promotions that are helpful to people, right? I kind of blame Silicon Valley and tech overall and like, people making it their personality that they don't have ads on their platform, right? But what is advertising in the first place, right? The way that I define advertising, which I borrow from Seth Godin, is spread ideas that matter to people who care, right? And so
Mm.
essentially, this is what we're trying to do at Thrad. This is even why I started a company where it would be the most powerful way to connect ideas and products and services with people that should know about them, right? And so this is what companies are doing, right? They're selling stuff. And so advertising is just an additional layer where you're just promoting, you're still selling something. Like everyone is selling something. If I'm selling my product, I'm selling someone else's product. Advertising is just selling someone else's product. And so there's no, moral failure there in like doing that in the first place. But yeah, coming back to the question, like, how do we solve this, right? How do we make ads not annoying? Or it's showing ads that are useful. I'm asking a question about a specific topic, and the ad that I'm going to show you is going to be about a product or service that is going to enhance your experience, right? Not extract value from you. And so it's just showing products and services that are useful to people, right? If you ask about something, well, making sure that what I'm showing you is not, uh, you know, making your experience worse. And so that's basically our focus all day long.
I have so many questions. All right, let's start with them. So essentially behind the scenes, I'm assuming there's some sort of bidding model similar to Google's,
Yes.
right?
Yes, yes, yes.
And how have you essentially just copied the Google model in that case and just applied it to chat? Or have you thought about how do we innovate within this?
Yeah, so there is a bidding system, right? But it's about how do you bid? How does the bidding work? What do you bid for, right? And so you can, like, the concept of bidding it doesn't need to be reinvented, but how do you do the bidding is actually where you get a lot of the alpha, you get a lot of the performance. And so that's what we have. Another major thing is that the advertising industry today is aligned mostly on a CPM basis, on a cost per mile,
Mm.
where you monetize per impression, right? And we actually don't do this. We do a CPC, cost per click, where we only monetize per click, right? And so why this is so crucial to us is that it actually aligns incentives with all the stakeholders, where if you're an advertiser, you only pay for the real performance, right? You're not paying for impressions of people that might actually not care for your ad, right? You see an ad on a website, like you're not even consider it. Whereas here in the LLM, when you're having a conversation, a deep conversation, you have the undivided attention of the user. And so why does that matter? That aligns incentives for us where we're only showing ads to people that are actually gonna click on that ad, right? And so if we know that they don't care about this, why would we waste an impression? We don't get paid,
Mm.
just to show the ad. We only get paid when they click on the ad. And so that really aligns incentives for us where, we must do a very good job to show a very good ad to someone who's really gonna like it so much that they're gonna click on it, right? And so that's really part of that's really core to our model.
Where is the sweet spot in that? Because the way that we use chat today is very much in conversation. It's not the way that we use search or have used search in the past, where we sort of had to think a lot about what it is that the question that we're asking. Now it's like, oh, I can chat and then I can go off on a tangent and I can come back and it's got the memory context of being able to figure out where I am in the conversation. Have you found that there are nuances to the way the human mind works and the way that we interact with this technology that allows you to slide in and add it just like at the right moment that isn't just, oh, I'd like to buy this? Because, for instance, I've used Perplexity a lot. And one of the downsides of the product that I find is very much that, like, when I just type in a word, it doesn't find it for me. I literally have to say shopping for or buying this. What are
Mm.
you seeing on your end?
Yeah, so the biggest advantage that we have by being an advertising product inside of LLMs is that user prompts are super long. Unlike search, where you only input a few keywords, with us, user prompts are super long. Like people type their whole lives, right? And then these conversations get compounded over more messages, where this
Mhm.
gives us so much data, right? We have so much contextual data, semantic data, intent data, first party data, metadata, that helps us to make really these tailored experiences for the users. And then the second major thing by being AI ads in AI is that we get to make every single ad in real time for every single conversation, right? So the way that marketing works today is that you have your ICP. I'm gonna make an ad, and then I'm gonna, spam it to hundreds of people, thousands of people. They all see the same ad. And what we do is that we kind of reverse engineer that, where every single conversation gets basically a message, right, tailored for them in real time. Right? And so this is really what gives the alpha and the extra performance to the advertisers. And this is what hits users a lot harder, because it's not anymore an annoying ad. It's just a brand talking to you and telling you, hey, this is what I have. This is your problem. And my product is solving your problem. And yeah, that's how performance is so incredible.
What are some of the ads that you like that you take inspiration from? Like for me,
That's
I'm a big Nike guy, right? So like those old school Nike ads. More recently, the Under Armour one that they did for American football, as football season was opening up with Gunner. For me, brought back the vibes. What about you?
Yeah, I'm a very big fan of just the concept overall of guerrilla marketing. I try to practice it myself, and so I don't know if you've been following, but we've been trying to do, yeah, the craziest possible guerrilla marketing. So,
Did you
for
really
example,
jump out of a plane?
yes, so I actually jumped out of the plane and turned myself into a billboard. I just wrote try Thrad on my hands. More recently, so the day of my graduation, I graduated in the morning, and then the graduation didn't finish. I got on a line bike and then sprinted through the traffic with the strikes to the Queen Elizabeth Centre, where ATS London, a very big ad tech and advertising conference, was happening. A lot of the CMOs were there, a lot of the ad tech players, the Trade Desk, Index Exchange, Spotify ads had a good presence. Um, and so went there to sell in my actual graduation gown. So everybody was dressed normally, and I'm just there like hustling and selling in the actual graduation gown, and like everybody was asking me, "Oh, is this like a marketing stand?" Which was funny, but actually that was not the actual marketing stunt. The actual marketing stunt is that 1 hour before the end, I went outside and I wanted to um, again like make some guerrilla marketing, create a bit of drama, where I tagged, but fake tagged, a van saying "fuck Thrad, ban ads in AI" with like a fake spray. And I just found a guy who actually is the van that moves around the line bikes, and I just paid him like $100. Hey, can I tag your van for like a bit of time? Just stay with me. And then as everybody was coming out, they would see this van and they're like, "Oh, what the fuck is this? Like, what is Thrad? They want to ban ads in AI. I didn't even know that there are ads in AI." And so this we had the biggest traffic ever in the lifetime of the company with that stunt, which is pretty cool. And we
Was
have a
this
lot still in the pipeline.
was this the same day you met Martin Sorrell?
This was same day as what?
Was that the same day you met Sir Martin Sorrell from WPP?
Oh, no, no, no. So Sir Martin Sorrell, that's way back. I met him at the World Economic Forum, and that was earlier this year in January.
But you are on the ground and you're quite in. And for it, what it seems like is that it's not all just guerrilla marketing. Actually, it's just your love of the craft. And it's like
Absolutely,
if I'm going to go and build an advertising product, let me go and actually advertise. Like let me
absolutely.
myself
Yeah,
do it. And I think that there's a combination of like you, the brand, and the company, the brand, and it ends up being intertwined. But you seem to do it incredibly well, and you've got a love for the craft.
absolutely. I mean, to me, it's all about the craftsmanship, the art and science of marketing, and so that's why I actually started the company. Right, I love doing marketing. I want to be the best marketer in the world. I want to find new ways and the most innovative ways to do marketing. And so right now, where you have the biggest alpha in performance is in LLMs, right? If you look at the different waves of distribution that we have had across the previous decades, right? You had the first Google ads waves, and then and then Facebook ads, and then TikTok ads. And so here we're really at the inflection point where we're at the beginning of LLMs and AI not being the tool to actually make ads, right? Because there's so many tools to make ads. But now what we do is that we use AI as the distribution channel itself, right?
Mm.
And so why those new channels work extremely well at the beginning was just because of the economics of the marketplace, right? You have a lot of attention, you have so many people on these platforms, you have a lot of eyeballs, a lot of people on Google, a lot of people on TikTok, but very few advertisers, right? And so when you have discrepancy between the supply and demand, you have a lot of supply, you have very little demand, then it means that you can get very cheap customer acquisition, right? You get a lot of eyeballs, a lot of engagement for very little cost. And so that's the same, for LLMs today, where you get a lot of undervalued attention, a lot of underpriced attention, enabling marketers to punch way above their weight class, right? And so that's really the best way to get your customer acquisition. And then, as more people get into the game, you have more people bidding, then the prices get more regulated. They become more rightly priced, sometimes even more overpriced, right? But obviously, that takes a lot of time.
I want to talk a little bit beyond the curve. Like people are going to get caught up on what is happening here at Thrad and quite quickly try and build their own versions, I assume. How are you thinking about, once LLMs, just everyone starts using them, they're integrated into everything, and AR, VR, or the medium of some of these new devices that are coming out. How do you think about ads in those contexts? Because if everything's powered or has power through an LLM, you must be like almost loving the fact that like I can see through these Ray-Ban glasses and these ads can pop up in different contexts.
Yeah, of course you don't want to get in a dystopian world where, you have like mental manipulation, and I think there's like, a lot of stories around that. At the end of the day, that's really our mission, right? Spread ideas that matter to people who care, right? And provide those in user-friendly, privacy-friendly environments. Just subsidize the experience of those products. And so that's really the amazing value exchange that advertising has brought. And of course, there's a lot of limitations in the space and a lot of challenges, that have happened, and a lot of problems. And so that's why we're starting to company to try to fix those.
What's hard right now for you? Is it building the programmatic platform? Is it something else?
Yeah, everything's hard. But the way that you would typically, build moat defensibility in our space is actually by securing the supply side of the marketplace,
Right.
right? If I had $1 trillion in ad spend and I had nowhere to spend it on, it doesn't really matter, right? And so the way that you actually successful here is locking in the best inventory, the AI apps that have the most users, the best users, the most premium inventory, and so ad spend will flow to the best inventory. And so that's really core to our efforts right now. Of course, you have, building a very good product. And so the way that we're positioning it is we're the only self-serve platform in the world where you can go on a website, you can launch a campaign in seconds with no min ad spend, with a single prompt, right? And so kind of the bottoms up approach where anyone can be a marketer today, and can have their ads and can make a lot of money by advertising in LLMs.
And so just for clarity, does this will then pop up in ChatGPT? Will it pop up in Claude and Gemini? Or am I thinking about it wrong?
Yes, basically that's the same thing, but not in those that you mentioned, right? Those are walled gardens that do not enable us to be inside of those environments. So we partner with similar players, but that are just smaller, right? And so you have maybe five companies that can build their own ad tech infrastructure and are going to do exactly the same thing. But in-house, we just do it for companies that cannot and will not build their own ad tech infrastructure. And so those are companies just like ChatGPT, but smaller ones that still have millions of users, right? And so here you have two main categories. One are, still general agnostic horizontal AI apps, just like ChatGPT, but smaller ones. And then the second ones are the vertical AI apps, right? So an AI study assistant, an AI financial advisor, an AI mental health assistant, an AI travel agent, right? The AI travel agent books your flights to London, is going to book your hotel. You're traveling here, I'm going to show you an ad for something related to this, right? So it's like the long tail of applications.
What's really cool there actually isn't just like it's physical products. It can be digital products. It can be copyrighted products that you can sort of reduce the barrier to entry to actually using it because you're able to actually provide value to someone through, like, for instance, music, incredibly complex, right? In trying to figure out like what's the main sample, who needs to get paid. But it feels like if I'm inside an editor, like we just had Veed on before you, right? And I'm trying to build some sort of YouTube video,
Yeah.
and I'm in the chat function, and
Yeah. So
Threads
if Veed has
pops
a prompt
up.
interface, yeah, if Veed has a prompt interface, we can make Veed for free.
Insane.
Yeah.
We love to see it. Dude, this has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for the time.
Thank you so much. We're also hiring, so
Oh
reach
yeah,
out.
plug. What do you need
And
right now?
also anyone who's a 100x in anything.
Based out of the UK, based out of Europe, or is it a remote role?
Yeah, mostly London and San Francisco. Yes.
Love it. My friend,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing you in person.
And go
I'm gonna
on
chew your ear
Thrad.ai.
off. Go on Thread.ai. We will make sure to tag it underneath.
Thanks, Viraj.
Andrea, this has been a pleasure. I'll speak to you soon. Ciao.